The last thing you bought that you did not need. Think about the moment before you bought it. Not the reason you told yourself afterward. The actual moment. Your brain was running 3 systems at once. One made it feel urgent. One made it feel good. One made it feel safe. None of those 3 feelings were about the thing you were buying. This is your brain on debt. And it has been making your spending decisions long before you thought you were. In 2012, a neuroscientist named Brian Knutson ran an experiment at Stanford. He put people in an fMRI scanner and showed them products they could buy with real money. What he found changed how we understand spending. The decision to buy happens before you think you've decided. The nucleus accumbens, the brain's reward center, lights up when you see something you want. The insula, the pain center, lights up when you see the price. If the reward signal is stronger than the pain signal, the prefrontal cortex authorizes the purchase. This entire sequence happens in under 2 seconds. By the time you think you're deciding whether to buy, your brain has already voted. This means that most of your spending is not a decision. It is a report from a system that has already run. And when you are in debt, 3 specific systems override that process entirely. They don't just influence the vote. They rig it. These are the 3 systems. When you carry debt, your brain's amygdala, the alarm system, registers it as danger. Not metaphorically. Physiologically. The same way it registers a predator, or a fall, or an oncoming car. The amygdala does not care that the debt is not going to attack you in the next 5 seconds. It registers imbalance. And imbalance, to the amygdala, is threat. And here is what happens when your brain treats debt as a threat. It looks for immediate relief. A purchase that feels like it will reduce the threat, a small reward, a momentary escape, proof that you still have control, produces a dopamine response that temporarily lowers the amygdala's alarm. The spending does not reduce the debt. It reduces the feeling of being in debt. For 20 minutes. This is why people in debt often spend more, not less. They are not being irrational. They are calming an alarm system that will not turn off any other way. The urgency loop is not a spending problem. It is a threat response problem. And you cannot willpower your way out of a threat response. In 2018, researchers at Princeton found something that explains why poverty and debt create spending behavior that looks self-destructive. When resources are scarce, when you are low on money, low on time, low on options, the brain's reward system becomes hypersensitive. It amplifies the value of any available reward. Not because you are weak, because that is how the brain is designed. When you have no debt and financial security, a $5 coffee is a minor decision. When you are in debt and financial stress, that same $5 coffee produces a reward signal far larger than its objective value. Your brain is not calibrating reward based on what the thing is worth. It is calibrating reward based on how rare reward has become in your life. This is the reward hijack. And it is why people in debt often describe feeling powerless to say no to purchases they know they cannot afford. They are not lacking discipline. They are operating with a reward system that has been chemically altered by scarcity. This is the system that makes debt nearly impossible to escape once it has started. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning, is suppressed when you are under chronic financial stress. Suppressed means it is not offline. It means it is being overridden. A person not in debt can feel the weight of a purchase they will regret in 6 months. A person in debt, whose amygdala is in permanent alarm, cannot feel 6 months from now, because 6 months from now is not where the threat is. The threat is right now. And the thing that will calm the threat, the small purchase, the relief, the reward, is also right now. This is not short-term thinking. This is the prefrontal cortex being outbid by the amygdala in every decision. Future you does not get a vote, because present you is in a burning building. 3 systems. The urgency loop, the reward hijack, the future discount. None of them are about discipline. None of them are about willpower. All 3 are neurological responses to the condition of being in debt, which means they can be interrupted, not eliminated. Interrupted. These are the 3 breaks. Before you make any non-essential purchase, pause for 10 seconds and ask one question. Is this urgency real, or is this my amygdala? Not after. Before. Because if the urgency is coming from the amygdala, if it is the urgency loop running, it will feel exactly like real urgency. The only way to tell the difference is to name it before you act. The act of naming creates a 2-second gap between the system activating and the behavior executing. 2 seconds is the entire break. When the pull toward a purchase is strong, when it feels impossible to say no, the reward system is running at artificially high sensitivity. The break is not resisting the reward. It is offering the brain a competing one. Not buying this $5 coffee means my credit card payment goes down by $5 this month. That is a reward. A real one. But it is a reward the hypersensitive system cannot see, because it is in the future. So you name it out loud. In the moment. Before the purchase. You are not trying to outmuscle the system. You are feeding it a reward signal it was not designed to detect on its own. Write a letter. Not to yourself now. To yourself 6 months from now. The version of you that will be living with the consequences of the purchases you are about to make. Write it physically. Not typed. Handwritten. Because the act of writing by hand activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain the urgency loop has been suppressing. The letter does not need to be long. It only needs to make future you real. Real enough that when the next purchase decision arrives, future you is in the room. The future discount cannot suppress someone who is standing next to you. Brian Knutson did not find that humans are broken. He found that the brain makes spending decisions based on signals that predate logic by millions of years. Threat. Reward. Survival. Debt is not a financial condition. It is a neurological one. And the people who escape it are not the people who try harder. They are the people who learned to see the 3 systems before the systems made the decision. The 3 systems will not leave you. They are not bugs. They are features, designed for a world that no longer exists. But from this moment forward, you know what they feel like when they activate. Urgency that is not real urgency. Reward amplified beyond its value. A future that has been discounted to 0. Name them when they arrive. That is the entire break.